I'm going to show you everything how to use Microsoft Designer for your social media. I'm going to show you how to use it for your social media posts in an easy way. Then I'm going to show you how to use it in a more bespoke way that is really not hard, but just gives it a little bit of a more personal touch, a bit of a twist. And I'm also going to show you how to use it for some integration so that you can post directly onto Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, just directly from Microsoft Designer. It makes it really easy for you to use your social media strategy. Because let's face it, if you are like me, you're always too time poor. I'm also thinking, I should have created this post for my online brand, but I run out of time, I was too busy, and I don't do it now. But now with Microsoft Designer, it makes it really easy. And I'm going to show you multiple ways on how to do it. So let's get started on this. We're going to look into social media posts with Microsoft Designer, and I'm first going to show you the easy way to do it, and later I will show you a few variations and also more complicated things with generative images. But for now, we're just going to start with the simple version. As you can see here, I typed in a Facebook post about an upcoming garage sale. I'm just going to press the generate button, and now Microsoft Designer is learning and looking online and on the whole library that have in the back end suitable images and suitable designs that are perfect for my Facebook post. And as we can see here on the right side, we see the garage sale, various Facebook posts that I could use. I could just download it straight away and post it on Facebook, and I'm done in a few seconds. Isn't that great? Now I can scroll through all the options here. I think there are a few of them are quite good and funny, like this kind of grabs the eye. But if you're like, okay, I'm not selling televisions, maybe I rather go for something like that, or I rather go for a larger picture like that. Anything that you'd like to do. Now by default, Microsoft Designer starts off with a square. That's the most common format on Facebook. But what you could also do is change the size of the canvas. So now it is square. You can also say, okay, now I want it in a landscape format, and now generating designs in that format. So you don't need to download it, crop it, resize it, all those kind of things. I mean, you could, but this is even easier. Like if you want to have a Facebook event, so you need a wide scale image, this would be a very easy way to do it. So you can invite your friends in your neighborhood for your garage sale. So here we scroll through all the images. I think most of them are pretty good actually. For example, I think this looks, it looks professional, it looks nice, a beautiful shot. You can always zoom in, like with the plus sign, see, okay, this is something I'd like. It looks a bit quirky, a bit old-fashioned, but in a nice way, like not too clunky or like lots of stuff, but beautiful things that people possibly would like to buy. So what I can just do, I select this one, I just can download it, and I will get it straight away. It removes the watermark automatically in the current version, and I can download it. The other way that I could do, and we get back on that later in the course, is posting it automatically, but that's a later part of this course. So let's press download, and you have it straight away. Now, one thing I would like to show you is if you do not like the images that are shown here, what you could also do is go on other websites, like for example Pixabay, type in garage sale and see what's out there. If you think, okay, I didn't like what Microsoft Designer generated for me, I'd rather see something else. For example, I think this image of these dolls is pretty cute. So you could just download that and then upload it back to Microsoft Designer. Images on Pixabay and also on Unsplash are available for free. They would appreciate if you gave them acknowledgement, like a mention of the designer or the photographer that made it for you. You're not obliged to do so, but it would be appreciated. So I'll make a free download here, and here it will pop up the mention that it would be great to reference to the people that made this image. Now, what I'm now going to do is go back to Microsoft Designer, and I can just add an image, take the one and just download it. Here it has uploaded the image for me, and now I want to generate the same post, but then based on the image that I just downloaded from Pixabay, just in a different kind of way, because I like this image better. I mean, this is only an example. Usually the ones that Microsoft Designer makes for you are good enough, but there's options there, so why not use it if you can? It takes a few seconds to come up with the right post, but here it goes. It is already starting to think about good ways to do it. Here we see the 3 dolls that I just downloaded. It has some various ways how to do it. I think all of them are pretty nice. It depends a bit, of course, on your style or what you prefer. I think all of them are great. You can switch back to the square version if that is more something you'd like for your post, for example. And there you go. So one thing that you would like to add is a reference to the photographer. If you want to do that, you're not obliged to. But other than that, you're pretty much set to go. Isn't that easy and great? So this is the easy way of Microsoft Designer for posts. I'm now going to show you a different way, which is just for Instagram. So let's say we don't have that, but we have Instagram post about, let's say, my son's 8th birthday. So remove that one and generate. So now it's coming up with a few ideas on an Instagram post about a birthday coming up for your child. Could be for yourself as well. It could be about anything you'd like to post on Instagram. It doesn't really matter. But I think this is pretty neat. Look, they look very professional, very nice, beautifully generated. Happy 8th birthday. Of course, a bit in a children's theme. You can change it if you like. I think that's pretty neat already. Again, you can change the size. Like usually, of course, Instagram default is square as it used to be. But if you want a different type, then you can also go for portrait kind of things. Now, let's say I want something different. I want an Instagram post about a wine and cheese night. I can also do that here. Just click the generate button and it will generate stunning designs for me about a wine and cheese night. It takes a few seconds to come up with some ideas, but it does it usually within seconds. And it's currently thinking and crawling through all the database of all relevant images. And here we go. We have quite a few beautiful designs that I could use for my upcoming wine and cheese night. So all I need to do is just select the one I like. Like for example, I like this one, and I can just download it here. And one additional thing I would like to highlight here is that Microsoft Designer shows you both static images, like I have selected here, but it also has videos, like this one, that gives a little bit of an extra touch to it, like it more speaks to the eye when something moves, and that catches more attention. So especially if you're using Instagram for business purposes, like you want to sell tickets to your wine and cheese night, that usually helps to get more attention here. Isn't it beautiful? What a great tool. Now I'm just going to select this one, for example, just click download, and the watermark is already removed, like it's already ticked, download, and I'm done. Isn't that beautiful? Now, so far we've looked into image generation where you have something coming up like a wine and cheese night or a birthday or something you would like to showcase to the socials, to your audience about something that's happening. But let's say you want to remain relevant with your target audience and you want to keep on giving them interesting pieces of content, but there's currently just not something that you have to show. So what you could also do is just press the cross button here. This will make this interface go away. And here on the left side, we see like all kinds of upcoming holidays that you can just tag into. Like if you have a food brand, oh, there's Hamburger Day, never heard of that. Memorial Day, it's a bit more commonly known. Can just, oh, not that. We can just scroll on this one here. And we see all kinds of upcoming things that are relevant that you could tag into if you want to say, Happy Pride Day, or here National Donut Day. Never heard of that before, but you could always tag along or say something funny about it, and then you have something to say. Like, so there's one little touch with your followers that you exist. It could be something funny, it could be something lighthearted. Donuts, who doesn't like it? And you can just tag along with that. Now, if there's nothing there, something else you could do is just scroll down here with existing templates that Microsoft Designer already pre-made for you, and just think, okay, this could actually align with my brand. For example, here's an inside event about handbags. If that is your brand, that would be helpful. Your arrivals for your brand. Happy Mother's Day. There's nothing wrong with just posting Happy Mother's Day, whatever kind of brand you have. And it gives you another moment, like a touch moment with your followers. You can just click on it. It will then transfer it back to the canvas. Here, it sometimes takes a few seconds to load, but it doesn't really matter. And now what I can do is just post it directly onto my socials. But also, like if I feel, okay, I like this design, but I want something different, just scroll here on the right for other ideas about Mother's Day. So far, we have looked into ways to generate images by Microsoft Designer that creates you a beautiful post you can use directly. But now we're going to look into a more bespoke way. So let's say you really wanted to start off from scratch. So we start off with a blank canvas here on the left. Now you can choose a size, like the most common ones already pre-filled, like Instagram posts, Facebook ads, Instagram stories. If you have a complete custom size that you would like to use, it could be a different application than social media, maybe as a background for your website or other purposes, you can just select the width and height you'd like to have and start off that. Now, let's say for this example, we want to start off with a Facebook ad. So I'm going to click this one. Now it will generate a canvas that is in the right size that I just selected. So it's more this rectangle shape. And if I want to, I can just scroll through all the templates. I can just start off with something that's already out there. But if that's not what I was looking after, I can just start really from scratch by starting off with visuals. So these are pre-made designs, pre-made shapes that I could build my own design with. So for example, here we have all these shapes. You have organic shapes, all kinds of photos that are relevant for a certain upcoming holiday, like common themes, like here it's gardening and flowers and spring. But it could also be like fitness, photos of beautiful nature, photos of parties, like common themes that you could use as a background for an ad or for a cover photo. What I really like is that it has both the actual images of real event, real people, but if your design or your brand is more like Illustrator based, you can also use Illustrator kind of styles. Now this is currently all. You can select for photos, or you can select I only want graphics, just depending on the style and the kind of look and feel you'd like to have. Videos is usually a really good option if you want to catch the eye, if you really want to grab attention, because like video just speaks more to the eye than a static post, but it's a beautiful background. For example, here it's a beautiful sea, and you can overlay some text to it so that it becomes really beautiful and speaking to the eye. Now, let's say I have a yoga studio and I want to show that I have an open day. I want to get more signups for my studio. So I'm just going to type. And here it gets me everything that's relevant for yoga. Oh, I need to, of course, select all. Otherwise, it doesn't get me what I wanted. So now it's browsing through the entire database for me that is relevant about yoga. And here on in my canvas, I can select the ones, the images that I would like to display. It could be quite like, usually when you use people, it really, people connect with that. Like it could be me being in a yoga studio. You could also have a more neutral background and then overlay this text so the text really gets the center of attention. Or you can use just like design kind of images here that also speaks to the mind and look quite good, I'd say. So you can just keep on scrolling until you found something that you like. And then on the right here on the canvas, for example, I started with this image. And then I'm going to add some text. I'm going to add maybe some additional images, some details about my open day until I have a beautiful design. So I'm going to do that in seconds. So now I selected this image. Microsoft Designer already knows the dimensions of the canvas I'd like it to be in. So the actual image is much larger, like you see here, the purple lines around it, but it just keeps it to the canvas that the people are actually going to see. So that's really handy. I added some text here on the left. And so Yoga Studio open day, try a free class this Saturday. Of course, I'm just making this up. It could be any other information you'd like to share with your audience. What I like about it is that if you click it, you can move it around a little bit, like here from left to right. And it will tell you, you see here this purple line in the middle, it's quite subtle, that you're now in the middle of the canvas, that you know that the outline, the outspacing on the left and right side is just right, like just right here in the middle. Now, I love this tool because it is specifically made for people who are not designers, or maybe not a pro in Adobe Photoshop, for example, but it just shows you different ways how to do a beautiful design without having like the background knowledge or years and years of study. Now, one thing you probably should know at this stage is that it always helps if you use the font and the colors especially that really align well with the background image. Like for example, here we have a very like serene, subtle image, soft colors, soft tone. So I do need a bit of contrast. So I'm using the black on a more lighter background. If I had more color in the image, I could also use more color in my font, but you always want to have the contrast between the letters that you have there and the background to be quite outspoken so that people can really read it. Because like when we try and make the beautiful design here, we are really focused on it. But when it is on Facebook, like with all other things popping up on the social media website, it kind of loses attention. So you want it to be clear. You want to be very legible. That's important. Now, I think this is already good to go, but let's say I wasn't really that happy, then Microsoft Designer gives you some additional inspiration here on the right-hand side. Like that's the ideas here function. So instead of doing this post, which I think is not bad, you can also, okay, instead I want to try out this one here on the right. So there's all these ideas here that you could potentially use. So now it has kind of changed my original design into a version that Microsoft Designer thinks could work. I think this is also pretty beautiful. And here there's a tagline like try a free class to Saturday, like boom, right in your face. So this is a bit more salesy, a bit more pushy, but well, it's a free class, so I think people would like it. So it also depends a bit on the kind of message you would like to share with your target audience. Do you want to really push a product or like get as many people to your open day? Then a message like this would really work. If you want it to be more informative, like people are just getting to know your brand, then the previous image would probably be more suitable. Now, one more thing I'd like to show you here is that here on the right side, you can also use it as a video as well. So it is even more jumping into the eye. So it has kind of a few like elements that it pops up and it really jumps to the eye. So here you can see, I'm going to play it one more time. Here we go. Boom, try every class this Saturday. And it looks really professional, don't you think? I think that's very beautiful. And it catches the eye. Now, you can add more information like the time and place it will be at, where people need to sign up, but you could also do that in the post itself. But I think this looks really professional and really beautiful. So within a matter of minutes, you have a beautiful Facebook ad that you can use. You can use the same technique for Instagram or any other canvas that you size that you would like to use, and off you go. You have a beautiful design for the socials. Now let's say we landed on this design. I think it already looks pretty good and stunning and jumping to the eye, but let's say I want to give it one more extra touch. Maybe I want to change the background here. Let's give it a bit of a warmer color, a bit more saturated or maybe a bit more lighter, but then the light gray just has a bit more contrast from the white on the social media platform. That would be a good way. I can also change the opacity, which basically means like these images on the right, where they're going to fade them in or out. I think currently it's pretty good, but I can change that to make it a bit lighter. So this gives a bit of a see-through effect basically. So it gives it more like whitewash, like a little white glow over it. Another thing I could do, like I think this is really beautiful, but let's say I don't want to go through all the design steps before, I'm just going to click on resize. And now I have an option here to change it to all kinds of other options. Like now I did Facebook ad, but now I want to change it to a Instagram square post. I'm just going to click continue here. And now it is resizing the same template for me. So they can use one design that I made for Facebook ads. Now I'm going to use it for Instagram, this one. Now, only one thing that I need to change is that some of the text is not really aligned with the images. That's one thing that Microsoft Designer hasn't really done for me, but that's really easy to adjust. Funny thing is, it always opens up in a new tab. I'm not sure why that is the case. It probably will change in the future, but now it will open up, which is only just a few seconds of waiting time, and we'll have the design in a second. Here we go. It is loading the same image from Facebook ad, like rectangular, into a square. I think that this needs to be a little bit more to the left. Oh, not that far. Let's say this is pretty good. And I don't know what the black is here in the back. Well, actually, I don't mind it. But I could make the images a little bit big. Oh, okay, there we go. I can delete that. Black is gone. So now it is a very clean post. I can add more details to it, as I said before, but now it is beautiful in a square, ready for Instagram. And I can keep on changing it for other platforms I may have, or even a custom design. So you only need to create it once. And once you have that, you're just going to create it to all the other designs, all other formats, and then you don't need to redo it every time. So that makes it really fast and efficient.